Coach, just those two massive droughts without scoring there just seemed to do me in the end. Just what did you see in those droughts? The one in the first half, one in the second half.
You know, as the game went on and as those situations presented themselves, there was a time, I think they went up 22, 59-37, and the staff turned to me and said, call timeout. And I didn't. And to their credit, our guys responded. And even though they did whatever they did, it was 73-70 with 2 minutes to go. And the resiliency that these guys have shown over these 10 days, starting with Houston, because that's really where it started, and the way in which Coach presented what was transpiring as the genuine good human being that he is on Sunday when the transition took place, and then the way they reacted against Baylor, and then 13th Texas Tech on the road, and then coming to Colorado, who, by the way, they're a really, really good team. They play really, really well together. They just don't maybe have the experience yet and maybe have all the things that they need in place yet, but they're really, really good. I've admired them all year. 9 freshmen, a couple of them are redshirt, and then a couple sophomores, and then some older guys. But our guys were extremely resilient. They were tough. There was an 18-point lead. We were in the timeout, and I said, you don't want to hear this. However, this thing's about ready to get ugly because we haven't decided we're going to get one stop. And C.J. Jones said to me, Coach, we're turning this around. And I said, really, you think you are? I said, by the way, we just cut it to 7 with the ball to begin the half, and we let them get back up 18. Like, that ain't happening. Like, this thing's about ready to get ugly. And CJ said, no, he looked me right in the eye. I said, oh, is that right, CJ? I said, so you think we're going to get stopped, so we're going to turn this around? And he said, Coach, I know we are. And I said, okay. And I got up and I left the huddle. And they did. They got stop after stop after stop. And then, you know, we got some really big minutes from certain people that, you know, Aaliyah's coming back from, you know, his injuries and stepping out on the floor, not playing for a month, and he buries a 3 to, you know, make his first play. And then the pocket pass to Taj for the reverse layup. And yeah, I could go on and on and on. You know, we turned them over 17 times, 5 of the first 5 minutes and 5 in the last 5 minutes of the first half. And I asked the guys, get it back to single digits, and they did. When we come out in the second half, we get a layup. So, like, this team's the best three-point shooting team in the history of the school, but we didn't make threes tonight. But it was 73-70, right? And I can't tell you there was, 4 maybe bad threes we took? All the rest of them were threes that we normally make. So I'm encouraged. It says in Thessalonians, it says, continue to encourage each other and build each other up, just as you're already doing. Because in Proverbs it says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. And our vision is very clear. And TCU is the next opponent on Saturday night.
How do you balance the feeling good about them coming back and being resilient, and then at the same time being a little disciplined and disappointment sometimes when it gets out of reach, but then you're able to come back? How do you manage that?
I'm not a moral victory guy. I've never been. I'm not a guy that's going to learn from losing. Like, I'm not into that stuff. I'm into learning. I'm into keep pouring into the cup because the cup's a little bit empty. But so whatever that transpires or however that transpires, then we're going to have to figure out what that looks like. You can't, in the last 2 minutes of the game, you can't get 3 shots blocked. Does that make sense? So we got to be better at playing off 2, getting fouled, getting to the free throw line, stopping the clock, being able to utilize those things. And so we talk about it, but again, we have to go out and then we have to be efficient and we have to, you know, do it. And to our credit, to their credit, they blocked them. To our discredit, we didn't quite execute like we should have. So I don't know if disappointment is the word or frustration, but I do feel like we're right there. Like we are right there. And so TCU's next. That was a heck of a game up at their place.
The possessions late, those last 2 minutes, when you guys cut that lead to 3, just what you see over there not being...
I really thought PJ was going to get an and 1 on number 8. When he went down the lane, I thought he was going to play off 2 because he likes to block everything. And I thought he was going to let him jump and then get fouled because they were going to call the foul. And then he gets 2 free throws and we cut it to 1. Get a stop or a foul, maybe split him, 2-point game. You know, Taj had 1 at the rim, but he also had a kick out. You know, 1 more pump and a pivot. Now he gets fouled. He's a good free throw shooter. And then PJ's last one, he had Andre in the corner for a drift 3. So, and I know a lot of people in your business, I know how this works. And no ifs, ands, and buts, were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But I'm just telling you, because I know the game. And I respect the game. Those are the little things that we have to fix. And if we do, then we can see good things coming in our future.
I bring up the possessions, the 5-minute spurts without scoring to start. Just that's been a theme kind of throughout the season at times where you guys go cold there and don't get points. Is there a common theme throughout them that you see?
You know, if we were taking bad shots and the clock was going late and we were taking late clock shots or yada, 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 then I would say, yeah, there's a common theme. But we're running stuff and executing and ATOs and coming out of side OB and under OBs, and we're executing and you can only execute so much, and at the end of the day, right, players got to make plays. Because it's not about plays, it's about players. And so those droughts are those droughts. I don't, besides calling timeout or fouling on purpose or doing something to get the clock stopped and maybe get a media. You know, you get under media, so you foul on purpose so you can get to the media. So I can't put a finger on it and say, yeah, we should do this or do that. Like, we're running good stuff. We just got to execute the final part of it, which is making that basket.
Getting Elias back, +8 when he's in there. Just what do you see from him today? And
Elias,
yeah.
He looked no different than before he got hurt. Yeah, which is to his credit. And what's more impressive is he's turned 22 today. It's his birthday. And he never sulked. He never not coached. He was on the bench telling the guys, when I said about 18 and CJ said we're going to do this, Elias was like, hey, man, we're getting these. He hadn't played yet. So, you know, to his credit, he came back just like he was when he left.
How is he? Just
great. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. I could have put him back. Or I think I did put him back in.
Yes, I think he was +9. He came out +8 there.
Okay.
Good. Cool.
Anything else for the coach? Okay. Thank you, Coach.
By the way, you Colorado people, I was in this league before, and you guys ought to be really proud of what you guys have in front of you. And if you guys take advantage of it, and you guys pony up and do what you need to do to keep that core group together, like, you guys got a chance. You really do.